Hello, Tom Levecki here with a special edition of the Armchair MBA. Just a quick response video. I have received a lot of backlash and just a lot of accusations made towards me, the channel, and so forth. Just want to do a quick video showing my back end, showing you my process, showing what's going on in the interest of full transparency. Just finished up a great interview with Myron Sugarman, the last Jewish gangster. Check him out. I'm working on doing a live with him. It's going to probably be in person because he's in New Jersey. I'm also interviewing Frank Calabrese Jr., formerly of former associate of the Chicago outfit. And I have a really, really big one I'm working on that I've been speaking to him directly. Can't even believe I'm speaking to him from Italy. A pretty big one, so stay tuned. I don't want to announce that yet. I have the verbal commitment, I just don't have the date. So we have some really good content coming, and we want to get stuff cooking. Okay, so let me start off. Is quick update on the store and products that are available. Newly launched is the, let me find it, I Buy Views shirt. Now, for those that have been watching the show, I'm giving 100% of the proceeds for merch plus my own money towards my $500 single mother giveaway. I got some feedback and maybe also be opening it to single fathers as well. Just nominate somebody, or you can nominate yourself. My team will vet you. We already have some applications in, and we're going to be sending cards out as early as this week. It's either going to be a $500 gas card or a $500 gift card, depending on the need and what works. And again, there is a process to get approved. Not too stringent, but just some vetting. And all proceeds from the store will go through. So we've got some great stuff in there. The I Buy Views shirt is new, so check that out. And then some of my favorite, and we've got a few orders of this already, is the Italia armchair shirt. And my second favorite is the RJ Roger inspired My Wife Hates Me shirt. Okay, so let's get down to business. Okay, about, what was it, a month ago, I made an announcement that I'm going to be changing my format to a long form format, which I've been doing. I don't really do the lives. I stopped doing those for the most part, unless it's an interview. Going for bigger guests. We've gotten some bigger guests. We have a lot more in the queue. And then I was going to do a in-studio interviews similar to like Joe Rogan type thing. All right. With that said, it's a huge capital investment. Interest rates are crazy. George DMB came down, so he could vouch for me. Looked at a few different properties. The one that I looked at with him was very expensive. With the interest rates where they are, the cap rate was way too high. It just didn't make financial sense. Then I was looking to buy maybe a smaller condo, fitting that for a studio, and just the numbers weren't working. So now I'm looking to rent the studio. So that's still in play, but I made it a point a month ago that the channel is going to be stepped up, and that there was going to be a capital investment into the channel to create this more like a business. And then maybe even have other podcasters join me to create a network. Okay. So I'm set up front, then I have a capital investment. Capital means money. And that is just kind of the setup for today. Okay. Now, any business agenda, objective, any show objective, any channel objective. Like Lincoln said, if I'm going to spend 8 hours cutting down a tree, I'm going to spend 7 hours sharpening my saw. So I'm going to talk a bit about the Sammy the Bull video. Sorry, not Sammy the Bull video. The Gene Borrello video, because I was accused of some stuff there. I'm going to get to that in a second. And also the Karen Gravano video. Again, accused of stuff there. I think I was called a fraud and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we will dispel all of that today. Okay. So the first thing I want to show you guys is I'm an SEO guy. I have an SEO company. I do this for a living. I'm going to share some information for you behind the scenes. I can't show you everything. Some is tradecraft. My SEO manager and I sat down and said, hey, what can I show? What can I not show? For example, I'm not going to show engagement rates, the thumbnails by channel, because that can maybe tip off in terms of which are effective, which aren't. And again, people pay us for this. They pay me for this. So what I don't want to do is just give away free knowledge. I'll show you what I did. You can reverse engineer some of it, but I can't give you the whole king caboodle. On top of it, I am an SEO expert with Google. So, for example, websites, SEO, online marketing, and the like. I'm okay at YouTube, but I have an SEM director, which means search engine marketing director, who handles all this stuff. And he is really strong at YouTube. And I even have a YouTube growth hacker. So, for example, John Gotti, right? I'm using this as a benchmark. His name globally is, I'm sorry, in the US in a month is Googled 144,000 times. Okay. So people type in John Gotti as a keyword 144,000 times. Next to it is GV, which means global value. Globally, globally, it's typed in 264,000. Okay. So it tells you about more than half are in the US. Then the other half is outside the US. Now, hold on. Sorry, I'm smoking a Liga 9. And that's, I had to put it out before and letting it back up. And I hate relighting cigars. You're not supposed to do that. I had to in this case because I had to go inside. Give me a second. Okay. Thanks for your patience. It's going to be worth it. Okay. So, with that being said, so benchmark of John Gotti, 264,000. Sammy the Bull, for example, 78,000 in the US, 105,000 outside globally total. And Gene Borrello is mentioned 4,300 times and globally 5,800 times. Now, this where it gets interesting is if you want to do Google PPC and you wanted to buy John Gotti's name, you could do that in search. It's going to cost you roughly 6 cents a click. Sammy the Bull, about 3 cents a click. And believe it or not, Gene Borrello is 20 cents a click. It's higher, actually higher than the other. Why? Because he's a little more relevant in terms of current day, believe it or not, in terms of Google. And then number two, people are actually competing for it. So they're paying 20 cents a click if they're buying it to get Gene's name. And this year's top potential. So if you hit the number one spot in Google, you would get 70,000 views a month. You would get 75 for Sammy and 1,700 for Gene. Now, the reason why I picked Google, you could do it also for YouTube. And the reason why I did it for Google, I wanted to do top potential. So right off the bat, I said, okay, what keywords do I need and what names are worth it in order to get views? Okay, now this is the Gene Borrello video. It's got 23,000 views already. So here it is, Gene Borrello exclusive interview, Armchair MBA, optimized for search and optimized for YouTube. Okay, so number one, the average duration time, which is a little, I think a little low. I thought it would have been a little higher, not gonna lie to you, is 10, just under 11 minutes. Okay, so if you're buying views, okay, and I think Don Vito is an SEM guy as well. If you're buying views, this would have, I don't know, a minute, 30 seconds, etc. Okay. Now I was upfront with everybody. Google PPC is a tactic that I started using when I made my announcement April 11th, especially when I realized there was going to be acquiring a piece of property anytime soon for the podcast. I had leftover allocated funds for the show, and I decided to put it in YouTube advertising. So the Gene interview received 23,000 views as of date, and 43% have been from YouTube advertising. So take away 10,000-ish, we're still at 12,000, okay, which is eclipsing anything else out there that was launched at a similar time. Browse features, those are people that when you browse, when you kind of land on YouTube and you browse around, YouTube search, 11%, and then so forth. So all strong duration in terms of no minutes, no purchases. And I was transparent about it that in my other video, I would be using YouTube advertising. So that is a backend for Gene to put the rest any bots, to put any rest anywhere else. There was no purchasing of any views, with the exception of YouTube advertising, which is white hat, and it cost me probably 20 cents a click or whatever that is. Okay. So there is that. Okay. Now, just to show you the SEO component. Now, your results may differ if you logged into different Gmails, if you use incognito, but when you Google Gene Borrello or YouTube Gene Borrello search, my video comes up number one and my other video comes up number 4. So that's another reason why it's doing well. So if people are looking for Gene Borrello, we're hitting that spot. Number 2, Gene Borrello interview. is something that would is a tactic used if you optimizing YouTube video to come up in Google search. Now, Google search has about 10x, probably more than 10x, 20x the number of views than you would on YouTube. So if you type in Gene Borrello interview, comes up #1 here, and it also comes up here in Reddit. Okay, I'll get a little bit of a tactic about doing external stuff. So we're kind of owning this spot. #1 here in videos here, and #2 on Reddit. Nevertheless, comes up #1 on Reddit. So we're owning the inventory, or we're owning the kind of the monopoly space on the Gene Borrello interview. So if you click there or there, you essentially get to my video. Now, when you click videos in YouTube, this is separate from Google. We also come up #1 and we also come up #2. Remember, I do this for a living. Okay. So that explains why it has a higher demand than normal, because we're owning the higher real estate. Now, we're going to get the Karen Gravano video, which is a little different. Okay. So I did the Karen Gravano interview and I went to use YouTube advertising. It got shot down. I don't know if it's Gravano name, or possibly she said the word kill, or I said the word kill, or maybe Gravano's red flagged in terms of certain terminology. Nevertheless, I wasn't able to use YouTube advertising for it. So this garnered 53,000 views, which is way higher than my normal. It would take me a year. Gene's video from 2020 is at 43,000 videos. So you're talking a long time to get the 53,000 views organically. Probably take well over a year. Okay. So what I did was I employed a different strategy. I employed a combination of paid strategy, which I'll get to. I use a media strategy, which I'll get to, and then obviously an SEO strategy. On the paid strategy, I did an external source, and there's multiple ones. Okay. You saw, for example, the Reddit. People opened the Reddit and they came through there. I boosted it on Twitter. I boosted it on Facebook. Also, Karen, Ramon, etc. They shared on their Twitter. So this is responsible for 21,000 of the views, or 40%. Of those, some were boost. I want to say maybe half were paid. Nominal amount, $100, right? Then on the direct, which makes up for 50% of the views, and this is where my SCM guy and I got into a big argument. We did a tactic that is not well known to the industry. Okay. So I'll give you, for example, you are on the New York Post, right? And there's a video here. This is a native video. Okay. You either pay to get on the pre-roll, or you pay to be here natively. This costs maybe 3 cents a view. Okay. #2, you're on the New York Post, you come down, and then also we'll say sponsored stories by Smart Feed. This could be a video, it could be a blog site, it could be whatever that is. And in this particular case, for Karen's video, we threw, I think, $200 at a service. They use Smart Feed. We like Outbrain. Okay. How much does Outbrain cost? Roughly 3 cents a click. And let's just say you could bid. There's a bidding process. Let's say you really want to kind of outbid anybody to be at the top spot all the time across, let's say, 1,000 sites. Actually, it's probably 20,000 sites that we bid on. I forget what the actual bid was, but I think it was $200 spent there. And we used a resource called Outbrain. So what that does is it tees it up either here organically, not organically, sorry, on pre-roll, or natively it's called, or it'll be here as a sponsored post. So all I did essentially was say, hey guys, here's a video with Karen Gravano. Here is the places I want you to put it. I was comfortable paying between 3 cents and 5 cents, whatever it was, a click. And they click it. And the whole goal of it is not just to beef up the views and to buy views and do sketchy stuff. It's to create awareness of this brand. I have some really big interviews coming up that I can't announce yet. And when you have bigger interviews, what happens is people have media requirements. For example, D. Snyder, right? He's a good friend of mine. He waived it for me. But for him to do an interview, he has a cutoff. I'm making this up. 50,000 viewership, 100,000 viewership, 200,000 viewership. Why? Because it's got to be worth it for him. He's a celebrity. So what happens is when I do bigger interviews, their publicists, which 9 at a time have representation, ask, what is your media kit show, or what do your views show? So in order for me to play in that basket, I have to step it up. Okay. With that said, is I announced a month ago that I was going to start using investment to grow the channel. I now started to invest it. So by result of that, people have accused me of fraud. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the analytics for Karen for a moment. Again, 51% from direct or unknown. Okay. So direct is where people put a link or an unidentified app. Okay. An unidentified app could be part of the Outbrain network if it's on an app, but it also includes smart TVs. You guys can Google it. So unidentified apps within the Outbrain network, which is vast. It's actually an Israeli company. We do a lot of business with them with my other accounts. I decided to try it out here. Or it can be like a smart TV. A smart TV does not register yet on for YouTube. You could actually even buy ads on smart TV just for YouTube. That's dedicated. Okay. External, again, you saw earlier the example of Reddit being on the top, and some of the traffic came from Reddit, some of it came from Black Hand Club. I had a lot of the forum sites with the mobologists that are real serious about this stuff, suggested videos and so forth. So that's how I got the views for Karen. I employed Outbrain. I used Twitter sponsored and some celebrities. Ramona's got 200,000 followers. Karen has 200,000 followers. They posted on Instagram as well. That's all external, Reddit and so forth. Some of that was paid because I did some paid boosts. And then the director unknown. Now, I'm going to share another part of the strategy, which I really don't need to, but it's just a point. Okay. I work in PR, and there's a tool called Cision. Okay. Cision is a way to reach publicists, to reach media professionals, to reach journalists and say, hey, you know what? I did a really great interview. Why don't you check this out? Okay. So this is one of about 10 of these I sent out to different people. And with sending them out, you say, hey, are you into organized crime? Are you into white collar crime? Are you into the mob wives or whatever that is? So you target them by subject matter. This particular pitch and this particular result was received 984 clicks, right? 28% of them opened, and 416 clicked the video. So they also watched it. So now you get the paid from Outbrain. I put the link everywhere like I do here. This is just one way. And there's other stuff that we do, which we won't get into because that's tradecraft. We put it on social media, and then all those aggregate to make a lot of noise for the article. For the video, and gets it to play more. You embed it in maybe some sites that aggregate to Google News. So it reaches Google News. And depending on this, the source may also be in Apple News as well. So basically just put in a whole bunch of places to attract people to it. And then that results in a bolus of views. Again, direct, external, suggested, and so forth. So that's how I accomplished 50,000 views literally in a week. Yes, I did pay for probably of the directs, probably half of those is 25%, and another external, another 20, probably about 40, about similar to Gene's, about 40 something percent of the views are straight paid. But here's the beauty if you'd be doing paid on Outbrain. If me, Tom, looks at an Outbrain and sees this, it's like, wow, this is great. I should go ahead and share it with Jeff, like say, right? Jeff looks at it and says, wow, this is great as well, right? That's called an earned view. We track that as well. Just earned views alone, we got about 4,000 that people said, hey, this is good. Let me share it to somebody else. So I pay to reach one person, but the next one is earned. Now, I got so feedback is only has 200 likes, and it only has so many comments, right, which are low. The reason being is when you use Outbrain and these sources, you watch it in frame, and there's really not a place here for you to like or comment unless you click through, okay? Which not a lot of people don't. Some do, and you gain some subs, you gain some views. It's really just to get them to get awareness for the Armchair MBA, awareness of the Karen interview. They might go off, and then there's a way, and I don't want to get into it now, we could actually follow them for 30 days with a call to action, say subscribe to the channel, or subscribe to the blog. Getting a little too much information out. I'm typically not supposed to share all this, but again, in the interest of transparency and putting this to bed. Now, Tom, you buy subs. Okay. The answer is no. And I'm revealing another tactic that I've been employing that has been very successful in sub acquisition. Okay. YouTube shorts are pretty much the hottest thing out there. You put a short up. My cousin Giuseppe was at the bocce club. You can look on my shorts. He throws a bocce. Hey, Giuseppe, buy a Vagina La Polina, right? Do something stupid like that. He does it. Got 2,800 views, right? I did one with Sammy the Bull, and just in the last 28 days, got almost 43,000 views, just for posting on my shorts. I don't get paid for it. It's not part of the YouTube program, but I do it as a way to acquire subs. Okay. So I go here, watch this video. It's a short, Sammy 60 seconds. Sammy tells his story and says subscribe below with a call to action. So my goal is to draw them in with a Sammy, because I had the Sammy interview, right? I had the Karen interview, and now people say, oh shit, you know what? I want to hear more and I want to see more. So they start to subscribe. So just the last, give me a second, the last 28 days, I gained 622 subs. You could check on Social Blade, it matches up. And 80% of those came from one short video. I'm going to turn this to 90 days. Sammy the Bull still number one with 54,000 views. What happened was this spike here went up when he announced the Salvatore, or around that time. Just whatever reason, he had a spike. I just happened to have content for that spike, and nevertheless garnered a lot of views. So number one, 1,000 views. 1,000 subs was acquired in the last 90 days, and 68% of them just came from the Sammy short alone. And what do? They discover the channel. They check the Sammy interview. They check the Gene Borrello interview. They check the Karen interview. Then now they sub and they hang out, and then those go up organically. This another Sammy the Bull short, 10,000, got me 58 subs, and here's all the videos here. So in terms of the sub acquisition, 1,000 in 90 days. You can check it against Social Blade. The last 60 days have been, 28 days was 622. And the last 7 days were 260. Again, Sammy leading the charge. Gene Borrello picked up 28, and even did a little fun Joe Biden one, picked up 9. So that will show you how I acquire my subs. Not a penny. First of all, you can't buy subs through YouTube. So you can't do that. You could buy views, but you can't buy subs. That's out of the terms of service. So that's how I acquired the subs. Okay. Now, I want to show you the channel analytics of my subs. Oh, I've got a new sub now. Fantastic. Okay. So this is the lifetime. I had that channel for a while. I really didn't do anything with it. I did some interviews in 2020. John Panisi and I hooked up for our series of 9 here. And the NBA and Buttman went live around February of 2021, I believe. And the channel had around 2,100 subs. Okay. At the departure of the NBA and Buttman, I ended with about 7,800. So that gained about 5,800 of the total. And then since then, the NBA and Buttman got all the way up to 11,523. Just to show people, had a great run with John. Wish him the best. We had a very good run, but the increase of the show helped out a lot, makes it about 50% of the subs, and I appreciate that. And that's part of the channel strategy. Sometimes you partner with somebody, sometimes you go on your own. When he left and people saying all these bad things, look at the macro. It really had no negative effect or adverse effect on the channel. If anything, it was a blip on the radar screen, as you see, and it continues to go. If I were buying subs at any point, you would see an upward spike, because the way bots work is they're fake accounts, they're bot accounts, and they shoot up right away, and no subs are being bought. So for Gene, 40% YouTube YPP, or YouTube Google PPC. Gravano interviewed Karen about 40% through Outbrain. I think both combined probably cost me $350. And you're like, wow, you don't make any money on this. Why are you doing this? I'm not worrying about money right now. I'm worrying about building up the brand. Then on top of it, merch sales have also increased. Granted, we're putting it towards our gift card giveaway for the single moms, but nevertheless, it's all part of the cause. So that's kind of where we land. Here is a store. So if you want to help the show grow, you want to help me get bigger guests, I reinvest money to different endeavors when we can. In this case, it's for single moms. And then beyond that, it goes back into the show to give you the content that you want and deserve. The reason why I'm doing this on my channel, nobody else, I am beholden to you. I report to you. You as a subscriber to this channel are how do I say this? You're owed the truth, you're owed transparency, and then more important, you're owed my thanks. So there it is. This will be my final discussion on the subject. I kind of want to show behind the scenes. I want to show a little bit of some of the tricks that are done on YouTube to gain views and to grow your channel. And the reason why I do this is, you know what? Other people could watch this and get better, and they could do it themselves. And if they have enough budget and they have enough resources, they can hire an SEO or YouTube marketing firm to assist them if they're not an expert in the space. So ciao for now, and I appreciate you watching the Armchair MBA.